What is one of the most useful tools you can have when making a presentation? Well, it's not an iPad, it's not a fancy slide changer or software for making slides. It's these index cards. On these cards, you write down what you want to say. Not the full sentences, but the key words and the main messages for every slide. When you're speaking, you can look down to remind yourself about what you're going to say for that slide. And when you change slide, you change card. So a good idea is to only write on one side of the cards, not on both sides, because writing on both sides means it becomes a bit cumbersome to be flicking them back and forth. For many people, the act of writing these cards, of writing down the main ideas, will help you remember, and often you end up not using them. However, if you don't use them, keep them close by. Keep them in your pocket or keep them on the table, because that will give you the added security during your talk that if you forget everything, if you go completely blank, and sometimes it can happen, then all you have to do is take out your cards from your pocket or go to the table, pick them up, flick through them, find where you are and continue. Most people won't even notice that you've lost your place, lost your thoughts. They'll just see you taking a pause to look at the cards. When you're preparing the cards, it's a good idea to leave some space down one side so that your fingers can hold them. Also, it can be a good idea to draw little smiley faces where you're going to be happy, sad, enthusiastic, just to remind you to change your style and your emotion. Another important thing that you can put on the cards is the linking words that will link one idea or one section with the next. Often our problem isn't in remembering the content, it's remembering the connections between different parts of the talk. Now, some people think that if you walk out and you have these in your hand, then the audience will feel or think that you're not prepared. I think it's the exact opposite. When an audience sees a presenter walk out with these cards in their hand, they think, this person is prepared, they've organized themselves, they've put some time into their preparation, and they feel comfortable about spending the next period of time with the presenter. Most professional speakers use these cards, even politicians. If you watch on television when politicians are making speeches, usually they'll speak off the teleprompter, but teleprompters are notoriously unreliable and sometimes they don't work, so they always have their speech written on cards. And if you watch, when they finish their speeches, you'll see them pick the cards up from the podium and put them in their breast pocket of their jacket. So I can't recommend highly enough writing down your main points, your key phrases on these cards and having them with you when you make your presentation. Now, I have found, interestingly, that these can be difficult to find because shops don't sell them anymore. In Spain, they often sell them in tobacconists, and you can get them in most big paper stores. Some people say or tell me that they prefer to write these notes on an iPad or an iPhone and to be moving through their notes as they're speaking. I wouldn't recommend using or having a phone or a tablet in your hand when you're speaking, because even though it might only contain your notes, it will give an impression to the audience that you're not fully present with them, because whenever we see somebody looking or glancing at a phone or a tablet, we think they're surfing the net or checking their email. So I wouldn't use a phone or a tablet. Also, it may not work. There's always a problem with digital technology. There always could be a problem with digital technologies, whereas these don't fail. Other people tell me that they like to write their notes into the notes section of presenter view on PowerPoint or Keynote. This can be useful, but what happens is you will need to have your computer within reach and within sight all the time. And often when we make presentations, the computer is connected by cable to the projector and it's away in the corner of the room, so we can't actually see the screen of our computer and we can't see that presenter view when we're speaking. So that's the quick tip for today. Index cards, really, really useful for remembering what you want to say when you're presenting, but also just the act of preparing them in your office, at home, before your talk will help you remember what you're going to say.